So having spent time with the one-on-one portion of the session, we now progress to beyond self into something that involves teams and therefore a consideration of other players within your team and how we interact with other players. The particular exercise we're going to use is one I call fast breaks. It's one I stole from somebody a long time ago. One of my personal favourite exercises and one that's very familiar to the team. Something we use as part of a warm-up on game day. Also something we use to teach a variety of different things. So the exercise will get moving very quickly. Again, I'll be able to say fast breaks go on within 20 seconds the players are moving, and then we use it for, to change conditions, rules, dimensions, sides, those kind of things in order to get what it is I'm trying to achieve from that particular session. So the way the exercise works, 20 by 30 grid, 30 long, 20 wide, 3 versus 3. The defensive team, and we've long since defined that that's the team without the ball. Team without the ball will drop one of their 3 players to the end line. This is now the target for the other team. So team A have the ball and their objective is combine in order to get the ball passed into B. That's a goal. That's how a goal is scored in this case. If there's any steal, so if B come and steal the ball from A or a pass is made and B intercept it, possession changes hands. A at that point would drop a player to their end line because they're now the defensive team, so the shift would change. B now have the ball, so they're the 3-person team. A now don't have the ball, so they're the 2-person team with a target. Where there is a steal, the pass back is free. So if A lose it, they then can't challenge it, but B can't score instantly. They've got to turn, come back to B. B has to remain on the end line until the ball comes to them. So every new attack begins with a player, a target player on their end line with 30 yards to go to score as part of a team of 3. Okay, in this case, first emphasis will be, as much as anything else, because we're working on transition from offense to defense, the first couple of minutes I'm going to spend trying to make sure that we're going to make it difficult for them. So my defense to attack transition will be, just for a very short space, my emphasis. So the 2 particular things. Number 1, when the ball comes back to a target, I don't want the ball stopped dead. That's kind of a habit that we're trying to get out, we're beginning to get out of now, but B sometimes will still stop the ball dead and then move it into play. This should be pretty instant to instantly force the newly defensive team to have to defend and organise very, very quickly. The other thing is I encourage the minimum number of passes. So when the ball is played back to B, a split second ago, A were the offence and they just became defence. If B can go straight through the middle, it means that A didn't organise nearly quick enough. And I will encourage that to force A to have to transition onto defence very, very quickly. So my first emphasis, as much as anything else, is to make this game realistic and taxing for the team that are transitioning onto defence, which is our focus today. Beyond that, my next pressure is going to be establish pressure and cover. Generally, given that we've done these concepts before, that should just be a reminder and encouragement to use those words. So if the ball does go into B, let's say this A becomes the target here, this invites the ball down the middle. So very quickly we'd ask the 2 A players that remain in play, one of those is going to step into pressure, one of those is going to drop into a cover spot. I will on occasion just mention that player we can kind of look at as a balanced player, and that as much as anything else is for future reference when we get as far as dealing with balance. Next big point of emphasis is a quick identification. When the ball does come in to B, those 3 players have to very, very quickly identify who's going to do what. In this case, it may be that this player probably makes most sense to become the target player. This player, a little bit further forward, so maybe this player becomes the pressure player, that player becomes the cover player. Quickly identify that. Quickly, loudly, decisively communicate that to the other player. Next up, angles of approach, kind of following on from what we did in the 1v1. So the ball's gone in there, I'm going to be the pressure player. So at this point, again, if I make that angle of approach, a straight angle of approach, I have to get to within a step or 2 before I'm taking anything away. So rather than that, I'm going to angle I'm going to arc my run, and I'm taking stuff away that much quicker. If they're not getting that, I'll actually physically show them the picture and step and say, 1 step, am I taking anything away? 2 steps, am I taking anything away? And the final emphasis here is going to be the force. So when I get there, again, as in the 1v1 exercise, I'm going to force play in one particular direction, and I'm going to expect my cover defender to echo that. So their position should react to what I'm doing. We can't have 2 players doing 2 different things.